Hello everyone, my name is Abeyson, and there were so many things that I wanted to talk about in this video. Not in this one video, but there were so many ideas that came across my mind, which I tried maybe 10 to 15 different ideas and the ways of saying those ideas, but as you can see, none of them worked out, and now here I am recording this video. You know, sometimes in life it's the same way for us. We have so many ideas, we have so many plans that we want to do, but they just don't turn out the way that we expect them to. But what do we do in those times? Do we just give up, or do we just keep doing it, keep moving forward, keep picking ourselves up again, and then keep moving forward to the best of our ability? Well, this is my attempt to pick myself up and keep moving forward. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story, and hopefully that would be encouragement to you. Me, I never shared my story because I never thought that it matters or anybody would even be interested in it. And that has to do a lot with what has happened in my life. When I was 7 years old, I remember my mom leaving to America because of financial reasons. And when my mom left, my dad also left, and then me and my brother, we stayed with my grandparents. And growing up with my grandparents, I was a good student. Like, I used to get good grades when my mom was there, and I remember my grades dropping after my mom left. And one of the reasons that I assume it is because my mom used to help me with my homework when she was there, but now I didn't have that kind of a help or anybody to push me to study, and so my grades kind of began to drop. And because of that, all of my teachers back in India, they thought of me as a person who is good for nothing. And which is the majority of the time, whenever I did not do my homework, I used to be kicked out of the class and made to stand outside of the class so other people who are walking by could see, and that would bring a sense of shame so I could do it next time. But that never really worked on me, and because of that, when students started to pick on me, I used to get in fights and get in trouble. So most of my schooling days, from kindergarten to 8th grade, I either spent outside of the classroom or in the principal's office. And I remember from my 7 years old of age to 8th grade, I changed 3 schools, and every time I changed a school, I moved from one house to another. So at first school, I was with my grandparents' house, and in the second school, when I had to change, I was moved to one of my uncle and auntie's house because they thought they could fix me. And then in the same way, the next school, they could not fix me, and I was still acting the same way, so I had to change the next school. And the next school meant that I had to go to another uncle and auntie's house because my mom had a lot of brothers and sisters. So that was my life. And so everywhere that I went, I had new friends, new school, new people. I mean, not new friends, but new people, new school. And there was not enough. I really did not have a lot of friends because every time I started making friends, I had to move. And because of that, I never really got to make friends, and eventually there came a point where I kind of gave up on making friends. And it's crazy because those things kind of made me be by myself and push me to a corner where I just had to be by myself and deal with everything that I'm feeling, or I did not communicate anything with anybody. And that was one of the reasons that I never share my story a lot, because I never did that growing up. Well, there were some times where I did share some things with my cousins who I used to live with in my uncle and auntie's houses. And I remember those little secrets that I shared were eventually came back to haunt me, because those were used as blackmailing tools for me by my cousins. And those things actually made it worse for me not to share things with anybody. And So eventually I became a depressed person who always used to sit by myself in a room and just keep thinking because I could not share it with nobody. And that's just how I live my life. And I basically cut myself out from community, and I was just by myself. And it used to be very hard to sleep at night, because whenever I used to sleep, I always used to think of all these things, and these things used to come back kind of like nightmares. So I used to wake up when everybody was asleep, and then I used to cut myself so I could see my blood coming out. The way I used to view it was all the bad blood that is in me that's coming out, so I could get some sleep now. And I guess that helped me. Bad blood bleed out, and because of that I used to feel a bit unconscious, and then that's how I went to sleep. And because drugs and alcohol and all those things were not so common, so cutting myself was kind of easy to cover up. Also, all I need to do was wear a longer sleeve shirt, and so that is what I did, and that is how I grew up. But eventually, after many years, I understood that the pain that I went through and the different things that I've been through in life are actually for a reason. And I understood that my voice, I was taught that my voice can make a difference. And maybe this is my first attempt to make that difference, or to share my story. And yes, I know I did share my story in a summarized form, and I do not know what else to do, because this is one of the hardest things that I have to do. But I am still taking a step. You know, in life there are so many things that we come across and they're so hard to do. But don't be afraid of those things. At least just take a step. Even how worse it can be, just take a step. Because you never know until you actually take a step where it could lead you. So don't be afraid. Yes, the struggle is real. That doesn't mean that we stay back and keep struggling, but that means that we use that struggle to motivate others to struggle as well, so that we can all struggle to be better. You know, many times we consider struggle to be something bad, but it's actually not. Struggle could be used for destroying ourselves, or also to use for building ourselves. You know, when a light bulb has to glow and give us light, it actually goes through a heating process, which is a struggle for itself. That's why when we touch light bulbs, sometimes they're hot. You know, even the Bible says we are called to be the light of the world. Sometimes, yes, that means we are going to go through heating processes, but that eventually we need to understand that those heating process is what brings light to others and even to ourselves in the days to come. So what I want to encourage you to do is to keep struggling. Even if you're afraid to do something, and even if you think you're gonna mess up, just do it anyway, because even from those mess ups you can still learn and get better. And this is my first step of getting out there and putting my first step in actually telling my story. And I hope that this was encouraging to you, and I hope, pray and believe that this would not be the end, but this would just be a beginning to something that is gonna come in the future. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you're encouraged by my weakness, and I hope that you're gonna encourage other people through your weakness, so that we can all grow strong together. Thank you.